look at us all there. I'm all done up. Hello. You asked, does your hubby still drink? So I think it was Tina asked that this morning on my live. She must have been watching on replay. So what you need to do, this is the rules, right? I never know when I'm going to come live in this group, and I don't want to promise. I've tried in the past to say, oh, I'll always be here at 5 o'clock. But if I'm honest, sometimes I'm cooking fish fingers at 5 o'clock, and I don't want to live like that. I want to just feel, all right, now I'm inspired to talk about that. But I love it when you ask questions. So someone asked this morning, does your hubby drink? Because I'll come on here and I'll talk all day long. I could, honestly, but I don't know what you want to know, right? So fire the questions until I tell you to stop, right? So, and I thought, right, how will I put it? And I've been pondering on it while I've been busy doing my bits, been supposed to be paying me bills and doing all of that stuff, right? But really, I've just been painting my nails and playing, right? And I thought, I went downstairs and I live on a 3-story house. So I'm always on the top floor because my bedroom's here, the bathroom, in my office. And then in the next floor down is the sitting room and the boys' bedrooms and another bedroom and another bathroom. And then downstairs is the kitchen, right? And I've just gone down to the kitchen, and as I came back through, my husband and my oldest boy are sitting together watching Harry Potter. And I haven't inspired that to happen. Do you know what I mean? I haven't even suggested that. It's just happened. And if I'm honest, that never ever used to happen. But it's taken a long time to get to here from where we were. And I'm not going to blame him. I did blame him a hell of a lot when I was drinking, to be honest, because it was usually how it worked was I was married before, and I think I was looking at that stage for a father figure because I just lost my dad, right? And I found my father figure, and then I decided that I didn't like that. Father figure turned into feeling like it was controlling. So I broke away from that, and then I found somebody who just liked to party, like me, and it was really good until it wasn't. And it was kind of like, that saying where they say, like, give them the rope to hang themselves or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Let them go. Let them go and stop trying to hold on to stuff, because I do feel sometimes like I was trying to do that. Like I wanted a party, but not that much now that I've got kids. I wanted to I wanted to let loose, but not that much. Do you know what I mean? Like as a mom, it's really hard, isn't it? Because you can't just let go completely. You can't do that anymore. And I know why now. And I would sit there and think, well, how can he do that? How can he go off and not even think about his kids? I think about me. So I'd be furious with him. But what I would have done is I would have got to my point and I would have collapsed and gone to sleep or gone to bed. And so I had reached my peak, but he hadn't reached his peak, and it was the alcohol. It wasn't. So he wanted to keep partying, and that's what would happen for us. So he would go off finding parties. I'd wake up and he wouldn't be there. And I'd be like, where the hell is he? Do you know what I mean? And I'd be left with the hangover and the destruction and the chaos and the phone calls of where he's supposed to be because we work together. And it used to drive me crazy, and I hated it. I hated it. And because there was a big part of me wanted to have that, that off button. And I can remember thinking, I'm going to do that to you so that you can see how it feels. And I could never do it. Because women can't turn off. We're different. And I know you might be watching this. And yesterday I got pulled up about everything's heterosexual. Well, I am heterosexual. Do you know what I mean? I'm speaking from my experience. So this is what happened to me. And if you are different, if you are, you've got a wife or you've got a girlfriend or you're gay, if it's different for you and it's relevant, then please come and teach me. Teach me, because I don't want to not say what I've got to say for fear of offending someone, right? Because I really think it helps. It's helpful for people to hear this. And I never believed for 1 minute that it would influence him as much as it has. I didn't even think that I could stop, right? And for eight, I sent him to AA. Can you believe that? I did. Because I was like, well, I don't do that when I get drunk. I don't do that. I don't let everyone down. I just collapse because I drink too fast and too much. And then I'm asleep in my bed, you know? So often we've got to realize that the enemy is the alcohol. You know, if you remove that, it's the common denominator in so many problems that were in my life, right? And once one of we removed it, okay, and whether you're the bigger of the two, or the, you know, maybe he drinks more than you drink, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I've sat with people who are saying with their drink, oh, oops, like, yeah, I'm sick of him drinking too much, and they're drinking themselves. Like, if that's really the enemy, or is he the enemy? Like, you need to decide. And I tried to get rid of him. That didn't work because we got back together. No, I'm pleased we got back together. But we did. We had time apart because of this. And it wasn't that it was me who was drinking too much or him who was drinking too much. It was just drink was too important in our lives, right? It came first. Everything we did, we knew for sure that would be drinking. It would just be a case of when and with who and what, really. And it got to the point where even if my mum invited her over for like tea, if she invited her for like a week, you know, like tea, fish and chips on a Wednesday, we would turn up with 4 bottles of wine. We couldn't just go somewhere and like, oh, well, I don't know. I was going to say it'd be normal. Well, what is normal? Do you do that? I mean, obviously everything's changed now. It's hard because I want you to keep asking me questions, because I feel when I stopped, the issues that I came up against are almost void now, because they're not together. People are quitting before they go back out there. I feel like you've got a much better start now, because in my heart, if you stop now, if you look at this now before you all get back together, you can then say, right, that's where I'm drawing a line on it. Now, I was the party person. Now I've changed. I don't want to go back to that. I want to take, and you've got time to sit and think, right, which bits did I like and which bits did I not like? And start really just doing the things that you enjoy and setting some new boundaries. I found them. These obviously are a matching pair, but they're odd. I thought I would start off with this to show that I hadn't made it up. Do you like it? Thank you. I'm all done up, aren't I? I haven't finished painting that nail. I'm not going anywhere. But I've got my oils out. I'm going to share with you some of my oils, because once you stop drinking, now I don't. Oh, so hang on. Have I finished answering the question? I want to answer the question. Angela, you're putting me off. Hubby drinking. So, first 6 weeks, he stopped with us, right? I think you could tell by my face. It was the day after my little boy's 8th birthday, right? I had been trying for months to cut down, and I had arranged a surprise party for him, and all the school kids were coming. And so he took him to the beach, and all the children were hiding, and they jumped out, and it was lush. I had all the games planned. I was like top notch mom, right? At this birthday party. But somebody must have said about 2 o'clock, do you want a glass of wine? Yeah, no bother. And no harm came to anybody. It was all good. Everybody went home fine. But I just continued to drink. Everyone stayed, like my close friends, and then it ended up there was like 2 or 3 stragglers, and it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was the next day was his actual birthday, and he'd had his party and everything. But I woke up like that. Shit! Quickly! The house was a bloody bomb site. Got him to school because he had to go to school, but he was quite excited about going to school because he'd had a cool party the day before. Got him to school, and I sat in the car, and I just thought, I need this stop. This has to stop. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I just thought like, I felt like I wasn't living to the standards, or I was making everything hard for myself. I wanted to be that mom who like just got everything right. Do you know what I mean? And I just felt like I was failing. I kept getting things wrong. Do you know what? I just always felt guilty. And whether it was true or not, and whether I was being hard on myself or not, doesn't matter because it's how I felt. And I now know from what would normally happen, right? The normal thing would be you would tell a friend. You would feel like that and you would tell a friend. And she would convince you that actually everyone is in exactly the same position. You deserve it. Look how hard you've tried. The little boy got what he wanted. You've had a lovely time. Justify your behaviour, then you'd probably feel better and agree to have a night out with her. That's what would happen, right? But instead, I stopped and I thought, well, what would happen if I did stop drinking? What would happen? What would my life look like? Like, could that be a possibility? And obviously, remember at the same time, this friend had come back in my life and I was watching her. I was watching, oh, and it just went 11, 11, 11, 11 there. I was watching her, like, her health decline. You know, we'd been really close and I'd lost touch with her. And we got back in touch and she was a different person. And I couldn't understand it. I thought she needed a new top and a night out. And we would sit together and we'd drink together and I would drink more than her. And our life was falling apart. And it was like, it wasn't to do with, it was who had the most endurance, really. That was what we were playing. It was a game of endurance. And my level of endurance was obviously a bit higher. You know, and I just kept thinking, like, where's the line between what I'm calling fun and a drink problem? I couldn't figure it out, you know, and I kept pointing the finger and saying, your fault, instead of going, oh, what about you, you know? And that guilt doesn't eat away at men in the same way. And I know I'm probably going to get a hard time the more well known I get, because I don't work with men. I don't want to work with men. I think there might be a couple of sneaked in here. But I want to do this. I don't want to feel like I'm flirting with anybody's husband. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to be girly. I want to be in the toilets, the girls having a bit natter. I don't want to tag the men. It's different. I'm sorry if that offends you. Does it offend you? Well, if it does, it's my party, so you have to get on home. No, honestly, I'm not a man hater. I'm all about, actually, I'll tell you what I'm all about. I've learned such a lot. You've no idea what I've learned when you stop drinking and you start reading. And all I've done is I've gone, right, oh, that nips me, that pisses me off, why would that annoy me? And then I've dug deeper to think, well, what can I do about it? And what can I learn about it? And I ended up reading this, The Female Brain. And my God, this book alone will save so many marriages, right? Because it just explains everything. We're not going crazy, right? Imagine we're going, it's kind of like cats and dogs. It's like putting a cat in the bath, asking a man to like process information how a woman would process it. And that's not that they're not as good as us, or they're just different. They're different animal, complete different animal to us. And what we need to do is look at what skills we've got. We've got an additional filter in our brain that lights up when we make a decision, because we're actually, what we're doing is we're taking into consideration the whole community, not just ourselves. When your husband's drinking, all he's thinking about is himself. And that doesn't mean that he's selfish. It just means that that's the way that he's wired up. You know, like a computer. He's wired up to do that. The next day, he wakes up and he goes, oh, I feel ill. You wake up and you go, oh my God, I feel ill. I'm such a bad person. I've got so much to do and the kids need this and da-da-da-da-da-da. And you're thinking about the whole picture. You can't switch that off. That is something that is inside of your head, and you can't make him switch that on because he doesn't have it. You know, that alone. And I keep going, oh, he hasn't got a filter. He hasn't got that filter. and you can plant seeds and you can train them. I mean, I think my mum taught me this. You can plant seeds and suggest ideas. He went out and bought a paddleboard. He would never have bought a paddleboard. Ever, ever have done that. But it took a long time and a lot of seeds and a lot of false starts, because I would have gone, why did I just do? Why did I not just do something outside with the kids? Why did you not just do this? Why do you not just... And then random tell me what to do. And then they go away into their shell again, don't they? You lose them about 3 months. And then they come back out. And if it's their idea, it's different. You see? But all of this is in here. And I can share this if you can go away and you can read that. Or you can just hang around with me and I'll keep you right. What do you reckon? Because I want to do this for a job. I just want to help women, right? I want to be sat here with my earrings in and my pretty dresses on, and I want you to come up with a question and I'll come on, and if I can't answer it, I'll find somebody who can, right? What we're doing is we're coming in, if you are my target market, you would be around the age of 45, right? We're coming into what's being referred to as our second puberty. I want to be ready for that. I want to know what the crack is, right? I didn't know. Did you know, right, that every alcoholic, this isn't alcoholic drink, this is a cup of tea, every alcoholic drink you have increases the likelihood of you getting cancer by 15%. I didn't know that. Sorry. So what I want to do is introduce you to these. Wendy, she's in the group. On a Wednesday, we'll have What Would You Buy Wednesday, right? And you have to be wacky and creative and think of a wonderful way that you can weave your wares into the What Would You Buy Wednesday. So the idea is you've stopped drinking, work out today now how much money you've been spending on alcohol, right? Are you having a bottle of wine a day? I like to think of people around about a bottle of wine a day. That's who I think I'm helping, right? People who are having that. Maybe more. Woody, lie down. Right? So for a bottle of wine a day, that's what we're spending. What else could you buy with that money? Okay? So this is all just ideas you're putting in your head. Nobody's telling you not to drink, not to stop yet, by the way. Have you noticed I've never said stop drinking? All I'm doing is I'm showing you another way, and I'm putting little ideas in your head, and it's entirely up to you whether you take them on board or not. But Wendy is like Wendy is my personal trainer, right? She helps me because what happened was I was about a size 14, right? I was always trying to get under 12 stone. Well, it was under 13 stone at one point, but then I got down. I was about 12 stone 8 for a long, long time. And then I just really wanted to get under 12 stone if I could. I used to could make or break me day when I got on them scales, right? How close I was to that mark. And I just felt rubbish. And there's pictures, I'll share them on here, of me taking photographs of myself with my great big fat belly. And because I was just drinking and eating and like thinking, oh, I'll stop eating bread, or you know what I mean? I had no oomph or feeling or energy. I wanted somebody else to just come and do it for us. I couldn't be bothered. And so I just hated on myself. I hated on myself, and I used to beat myself up whilst eating kebab pizzas. That's what I used to do. And to me, a diet would have been if I didn't go large at McDonald's, right? So I wasn't healthy at all. And I did go through a phase every 6 months where I'd buy all the stuff, and then, obviously Prosecco would come first and it would just get in the way, and that would go out the window. So there was part of us wanted to be that person, and a big part of us didn't even believe that I could be. Do you know what I mean? So it was just constantly making my life hard and like well, that's where I said yesterday, somebody's actually gone out their way to text me to say they loved that line. I was constantly over promising and then under delivering because I would beat up on myself and think, right, that's it. I'm going to do this, and then I would fail and then I would feel bad. And so then I would drink, but and then I would say, right, you need to just try harder. And like, oh, it was horrible when I look back now to think like I wished I could go back and just give myself a hug because there was no way did I ever look outside of myself and think like, why are you in this situation? I just blamed myself because I saw all of these. I saw all of these that was saying things that restores sanity, makes life easy, and everybody else was enjoying it. So why would they listen to me? Do you know what I mean? Like I was going to go against all of this and try, go to your happy place. And I was going to be suggesting that that wasn't what was making me happy anymore. I knew it wasn't. I could see that it was the problem. It was causing problems in my relationship. I knew it was, problem with my weight, my health, my mental health, because I was running this business that I knew I could do better with, but I didn't have the energy. Every direction that I tried to go in that I thought of scared me, and I didn't have the confidence to even find out who would know the answers. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even know what the questions were, really. I was just winging it and flapping, really. And I was somewhere I didn't want to be, but from the outside it looked like I was succeeding. And I'm not saying that I cried myself to sleep every night, because I certainly didn't. I was just in a cycle of drink, have, look back and go, oh, yeah, that was a good night. Oh, that was a good night. Can't remember it. Must have been a good night. Did you have a good weekend? And then everything just seemed as if it was blurring into exactly the same thing, and week after week after week. And I thought, I can't do this anymore. So the day after me little boy's birthday, I was like, right, that's it. And I'd always been one for to have vision boards, and I'd had this vision board about an outdoor lifestyle that I'd really wanted. And my husband, I think I've kind of painted a lot of picture about how I wanted him to be. I wanted him to be that. He does love camping and he loves all of that, but I wanted him to really want it more. I wanted him to want it for both of us so that he would drag me. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to be dragged up hills and things like that. I wanted to go, oh, I better not have a drink because he'll have a walk in tomorrow. But he would be quite happy lying on the sofa with his, me and the kids laugh because he'll have his t-shirt on and it'll have explore your city. And he'll be like, we used to laugh about that and say like, come on, like, do you know what I mean? But he's getting there because we were too busy drinking and we're knackered because we weren't sleeping properly and we never felt, it was always such a big push. We're exhausted, even thinking about it. But there was my vision board. And this day when we were both feeling really bad, I said, I'm not drinking for 28 days. I don't care what you do. I'm not drinking for 28 days. And I was like, this is what I want. And I think we need to look at our lives. This is me having a conversation with him, by the way. We need to look at our lives and we need to decide if this is the life you want, then that's fine. And if you want a different life, then we need to go our separate ways and all of this. And I gave him this big, it wasn't anything like an ultimatum and it wasn't anything that I'd like, it wasn't me telling him off. I was basically saying, this is the life that I want. And I now know that I've had enough of that other life and now I'm going to start for this life. So, are you coming with us or not? And he said, all right, okay, we'll do it together. And it was brilliant because for the first 6 weeks we did it together. And I've got to be honest, I don't think I would have got through the first 6 weeks if he hadn't done that. So hats off to you if you have done it with your other half. But now I'm here, I can help you through it, if that makes sense, right? Because I can be the other person in your life who doesn't drink, because that's all you need. You don't, And often I think it's better if it's someone who's further on than you and someone who's enjoying it, right? And someone who's got a plan. And then what you do is I'll teach you how to like train him and slowly, and it mind it's a slow thing. But anybody else who's on here who's gone sober, please chip in if it has like rubbed off on your other half, because you don't encourage each other and you don't have the opportunity, and then you're showing up with your sober self and they look at something and they go, oh right, it's positive. You can inspire other people, especially people who you live with. So trust me, it can happen. And there is a big long story about when he went back to drinking. And there's also another story about, you know, when things go wrong, when when he goes off the rails when I'm sober compared to going off the rails when I'm drinking as well. So it's so interesting. And from each angle, I've looked at this. And it's, but I think women women have so much like strength, and you might not feel that you have, but you have got that. You can influence the whole of your community, if you like. You can. it might seem it might seem impossible at the moment, but it's not. Really, it's not. Okay. Is anybody there? I can see three people watching, and I can see Angela and Sarah have commented, but I can't see any other comments. I don't know why it does that, but I'm gonna go because you might be sick of us today. I'm just all excited on, and I'm like ready, waiting to be on the telly. Right, ta-da!